Are y'all ready for another pandemic, another vaccine, and a new social contract? As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game. Thank you for tuning in to Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terry Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today is December 18th, 2025. And again, I apologize for the long delays between making videos, just like I did in November. November and December have been the most indescribable attacks that I could even put into a word. How I'm still standing is the grace of God, and how I still have a sound mind is by the grace of God. Because between dealing with the hospitals, the police, the doctors, my son's shots, everything that's going on around him, it's just very chaotic right now, trying to get this all straight. But I saw this article, and I'm sure y'all all heard about the black box warning being put on the COVID vaccines. Well, wait until we get into this. Are y'all ready for another pandemic, another vaccine, and a new social contract? Let's jump into this. So, November 13th, of course, it's going to be a 13. The UN reported that measles cases are soaring globally. What to know about outbreaks and their impact on children. Soaring globally. They're starting to build the narrative. The College of Physicians of Philadelphia, September 30th, 2025. The return of measles, a global health crisis unfolding in 2025. So since it's a global outbreak, I typed in, will 2026 be the year of global vaccines? There is no official designation of 2026 as the year of global vaccines. Instead, 2026 marks the beginning. Are y'all ready? 2026 marks the beginning of the next 5 year strategic period. There's that 2030 again, for Gavi and Vaccine Alliance. Next phase for Gavi. So, does Bill Gates fund Gavi? Yes, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, led by Bill Gates, is the largest private donor to Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, having committed over $7.7 billion since Gavi's launch in 2000. And they're talking about another global health crisis with the measles, and it's the launch of Gavi's new initiative that's funded by Bill Gates, and Gavi provides vaccines. I typed in, does Gavi provide vaccines? Yes, Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, helps provide and fund vaccines against more than 20 infectious diseases. So, did the Bill Gates heavily funded Gavi Alliance distribute the COVID vaccines? Yes, Gavi was a key organizer and administrator of COVAX Facility, the global initiative that procured and distributed the COVID-19 vaccines. Are y'all ready? Bill Gates' hand is going to be all over this. So 2026 is the new 5 year period for Bill Gates and Gavi, and they were heavily involved with the last pandemic. In 2026, could measles make a comeback? If this continuous transmission crosses the 12-month threshold, likely around January 2026, the United States would automatically be at risk of losing its elimination status by next month. Means that measles could be making a comeback. Again, by definition, continuous circulation of a measles virus strain for a year qualifies as an endemic transmission, which undermines elimination. From Contagion Live, Public Health, this is December 16th, 2 days ago. Public health wake up call. Will the United States lose its measles elimination status? The U.S. faces a critical deadline in January 2026 to prove it has stopped measles transmissions and could lose its elimination status if large outbreaks linked to ongoing cases, like those from the Texas outbreak, aren't definitively stopped and a 12-month period of no local spread is achieved. And look at the next part. Health officials are concerned that declining vaccination rates. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? They are about to roll out more vaccines. This is from April 25th, 2025. So what? 7, 8 months ago? The U.S., they were starting to gaslight 7 or 8 months ago. The U.S. is approaching a dangerous measles precipice, scientists say. This was from the LA Times 7 or 8 months ago, getting us ready for it. About 5 months ago. Okay, this is from Cape Cod or Cape Cod Regional Government. Okay, 33. Getting us ready for it, coding each other. United States reaches highest annual measles cases in 33 years. They did the same exact thing with COVID. I did a whole video on it. Each state, 33 new cases at the beginning of it. And here we are with 33 going to be appearing, all associated with the measles. United States reaches highest annual measles cases in 33 years. I just wanted to flash back on that. 33 new COVID-19 cases. Charlie Kirk, it took them 33 hours to find the shooter. This is from the Washington Post. U.S. measles case reaches 33-year high for the spread of measles. American Academy of Pediatrics in June reported measles cases in U.S. approached 33-year high. And they're highlighting 2 unvaccinated school children are among 3 measles-related deaths reported. Most of the cases, 95%, are among people who are unvaccinated. And they're quarantining people in South Carolina right now, December 11th. December 11th, a week ago. Hundreds are quarantined at South Carolina. Measles outbreak accelerates. 15 hours ago, CBS News.
State battles a growing number of measles. More than 160 people in South Carolina are under quarantine as the state battles a growing number of measles cases. According to the state's Department of Health, 9 new cases of measles were reported between Friday and Tuesday, bringing the total number of cases in South Carolina this year to 138. As a result, 168 people in the state are under quarantine and 1 person is in isolation. The majority of cases reported involve unvaccinated children.
Are y'all seeing the same playbook rolling out? Another pandemic, another vaccine, and wait for this new social contract. This is from the New York Times. A measles outbreak brings with it echoes of the pandemic. In South Carolina, parents struggle to deal with infections that have brought quarantines, and remote learning healthcare workers are bracing for an increase in cases. Has the measles ever caused a pandemic? Yes. Before the introduction of effective vaccines in 1960s, measles was an endemic disease globally and essentially a contagious, widespread pandemic, causing an estimated 3 to 4 million infections each year in the United States alone and up to 2.6 million deaths annually worldwide. Since the implementation of robust vaccination programs, the disease is considered eliminated. However, recent years have seen a resurgence of the measles activity due to declining vaccination rates. Why are they spinning this narrative? How fatal could a measles pandemic be? Outbreaks are the result of under-vaccination. Before vaccinations were introduced in the 1960s, nearly everyone contracted measles as a child, and major epidemics could cause up to 2.6 million deaths per year globally. And Bill Gates, who is behind vaccines and vaccine development and vaccine distribution, Bill Gates warns, that measles could return. Bill Gates has repeatedly warned that rising anti vaccine sentiment and a decline in global health funding could lead to the return and increased mortality of preventable diseases like measles. You know, Bill Gates, who's not a scientist or a doctor, but he's profiting off vaccines and vaccine development and vaccine distribution. Is Bill Gates invested in measles vaccine? Yes, Bill Gates, primarily through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is heavily invested in measles vaccination efforts. And I did a whole video a couple of years ago how much funding Bill Gates gives to the media to push his narrative. And now he's involved with the World Health Organization. He funds them, he funds the UN, he funds vaccines and development and distribution. And now Bill Gates is warning that the measles are going to break out. So, if he's heavily invested in that and he's warning that the measles could return, do you don't think he's going to be pushing a new measles vaccination? 2 days ago, measles cases are surging across the United States. Experts are blaming the nation's anti vaccine push. Does this sound just like COVID? Look at the subline. Doctors say the spread of misinformation and vaccine hesitancy are tied to the nation's falling measles vaccine rates. Are y'all ready for a new vaccine? And y'all remember during COVID, they said the religious people were the vaccine hesitant. Pastors were getting arrested. Here we are 2 days ago. Same playbook. South Carolina measles outbreak in upstate continues with church involved in spread. Of course, it's from the church because those pesky churchgoers are anti vaccine. 5 of the new cases were from Way of Truth Church. So I asked, with all this widespread going on and Bill Gates warning of a new outbreak that could happen and the blaming of the vaccine hesitant are the ones that are going to be causing the spread of the measles. So logically, I had to ask, could there be a new measles vaccine in 2026? Yes, a new combined measles, mumps, and rubella, and I don't know how to say it, varicella vaccine will be introduced into routine childhood immunization schedules in the UK starting in January 2026. They will replace the existing MMR vaccine. This was in February of 2019, before the COVID vaccine. Maybe this was going to be their first choice of a pandemic, but they went with COVID because this was right before the COVID. Bill Gates warning to anti vaxxers: people in rich countries will die because they are not getting the measles shots. Are y'all ready? Through the Gates Foundation, Bill Gates has spent nearly 2 decades spreading vaccines around the world. Huh? Are y'all ready? The man that says with vaccines we could be very successful in reducing the world's population. He said people will die if you don't get the measles vaccine. The man that's making profits off all these vaccines. Yes, and is there an mRNA measles vaccine under development? Yes, an mRNA measles vaccine is actively being developed. Do y'all hear this? The same technology with the lipid nanotechnology, the same mRNA technology used for the COVID that Bill Gates pushed, an mRNA measles vaccine is actively being developed, leveraging the same technology as successful, and now they're talking about a black label warning on the COVID vaccines, the highest level of warning of danger. But there Yes, an mRNA measles vaccine is actively being developed, leveraging the same technology as successful COVID-19 mRNA vaccines, with projects led by institutions like the Magellan Institute and University of Auckland, aiming for more effective solution than traditional vaccines. $5 million to develop mRNA measles vaccines. So, of course, I had to ask, is Bill Gates funding research for mRNA measles vaccines? Yes, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is heavily invested in mRNA technology and funding research for various vaccines, including efforts to develop mRNA vaccines for diseases like the measles that's now supposedly spreading globally. The same technology. Another technology? Another pandemic, another vaccine, the same technology, and a coming new social contract. I hope y'all are taking notes to see what is happening. People are breathing a sigh of relief, and a huge, more disastrous wave is on the way. Do y'all see how much control Bill Gates has? He's putting his poisons in people's arms, and he's funding all of the global institutions, the uh, World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, the UN. He's funding all of it. And so they're pushing his political interest because he's putting money in their pockets. And a new mRNA vaccine for the measles that they say is coming is now under development, and he's funding it. And he's pushing Gavi that will distribute the vaccines. This is from December 5th, 2025. World Health Organization, Bill Gates unveils blueprint for global digital ID, AI driven surveillance, and long life vaccine tracking for everyone. Stop right there. Stop right there and write that down on a piece of paper and see how that affects your mind when you write that. World Health Organization and Bill Gates unveils a blueprint for global digital ID, AI driven surveillance, and long life vaccine tracking for everyone. In a document, this was from 2 weeks ago. In a document published in the October Bulletin for the World Health Organization and funded by the Bill Gates Foundation, the World Health Organization is proposing a globally interoperable digital identity infrastructure that permanently tracks everyone's individual vaccination status from birth. The dystopian proposal raises far more privacy and autonomy concerns. It establishes the architecture for government overreach, cross domain profiling, AI driven behavioral targeting, and Trump just unleashed AI without restraints and blocked states from interfering with the advancement of AI. Are y'all ready for this? Conditional access to services, and a globally interoperable surveillance grid tracking individuals. It also creates unprecedented risk in data security, accountability, and mission creep, enabling a digital control system that reaches into every sector of life. The proposed system that Bill Gates and the World Health Organization are pushing integrates personally identifiable information with socioeconomic data such as household income, ethnicity, and religion. It deploys AI for identifying and then targeting the unreached and combating misinformation. Means it's going to be reading all your social media posts, all your emails, and enables governments to use vaccination records as prerequisites for education, travel, and other services. What the World Health Organization document admits in their own words: to establish the framework, the authors define the program as nothing less than a restructuring of how governments govern a new world order. Digital transformation is the intentional, systematic implementation of integrated digital applications that change how governments plan, execute, and measure and monitor programs. They openly state the purpose. This transformation can accelerate progress towards the Immunization Agenda 2030, supporting the United Nations 2030 agenda that aligns up with Gavi's distribution of vaccines, which aims to ensure that everyone everywhere at every age fully benefits from vaccines. Birth registration, digital identity, and long life tracking. I'm going to leave y'all the link to this because it's a long article. And y'all can go read. Y'all can go Google this. And Trump has unleashed AI. Trump unleashed AI in education via an executive order. He unleashed AI in finance. He unleashed AI in everything. And he just made an executive order where the states cannot interfere with the regulation or deregulation of AI. And this is Bill Gates wants AI to criminalize those who question vaccines.
We're always monitoring threats to free speech, and one of them could be former Microsoft CEO and co-founder Bill Gates. Billionaire suggested an artificial intelligence program that would ban harmful speech.
We should have free speech, but if you're inciting violence, if you're causing people not to take vaccines, where are those boundaries that even the U.S. Should, have rules? And then if you have rules, what is it? Is there some AI that encodes those rules because you have billions of activity and, if you catch it a day later, the harm is done.
Now, the same World Health Organization that's partnering with Bill Gates, that's pushing digital ID and vaccine tracking and AI surveillance. This is from December 13th, 5 days ago. Y'all don't understand why I'm under so much attack. God shows me stuff, and I try to get to my computer to reveal this, to warn in urgency. Like, this is stuff that's heavy on my heart, what's coming to humanity. And the devil is attacking me so hard through my son and his disability and the government systems that's all around this. But y'all, this is serious. And the devil tries to keep my emotional well being and my mental health down so that I cannot get this out. So I need y'all's prayers like never before. Okay. Listen to this, y'all. Trump is integrated deeply with Bill Gates, with RFK Jr., and the wearables. And let's get into this. So, the World Health Organization that wants to support the UN Agenda 2030 goals, that's funded by Bill Gates, that's pushing the vaccines, that's now developing the mRNA vaccine. And the World Health Organization is saying that the measles could be the next pandemic. Look from 5 days ago. World Health Organization pushes a global plan to normalize trackable health devices and AI monitoring for every citizen on Earth. Do y'all hear me? For every citizen on Earth. Now, One of the things they want to do, the World Health Organization has unveiled the newest blueprint for digital health transformation, and critics warn it's the clearest signal yet that the unelected global body funded by Bill Gates intends to normalize trackable wearables, AI driven monitoring, and centralized health data control for the world's population. Wearables. The World Health Organization digital health means everything from phone apps to artificial intelligence to big data analytics and smart wearables. Y'all go look at this, okay? Now y'all remember I did a whole video that during the summer that RFK Jr. wants every American to have a wearable. And that's part of the World Health Organization's goal, is for every person on the planet to have a wearable. And now here's RFK Jr., who appears to be pro-friendly to anti-vaxxers. He's wanting to put wearables on every person in America to support the World Health Organization UN goals, okay? Does RFK Jr. want wearables? Yes, the U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy strongly advocates for widespread wearables health tracker adoption, envisioning every American using one within 4 years to empower our individuals with real-time health data, okay? To empower us, y'all. You mean to enslave? He wants every person within 4 years to have a wearable. And this is a Bill Gates World Health Organization UN idea. Now let's listen to this. The same people that want to silence those that talk bad about mRNA vaccines, the same people that say vaccine hesitancy is causing a problem, the same Mark Zuckerberg that was deplatforming people for COVID misinformation and supporting resistance to the vaccines, listen to what was leaked with him questioning the COVID vaccines. And now we've got the development of the new measles vaccine that's going to be the same technology. Y'all don't think we need to resist again? Listen to what he said behind our backs, but yet while he was deplatforming people who shared his thoughts publicly.
So caution on this, because we just don't know the long-term side effects of basically modifying people's DNA and RNA to directly encode in a person's DNA and RNA, basically the ability to produce those antibodies, and whether that causes other mutations or other risks downstream. So caution on this, because we just don't know the long-term side effects of basically modifying people's DNA and RNA.
And didn't we say we wouldn't take it because we did not know what the long-term side effects would be? And here we are right now with rumors swirling all around us that the CDC is going to put the biggest, hardest black box warning on the COVID vaccines because of the long-term consequences and harm that the vaccines did. And when we were talking about it before people took it, we were silenced and shut down. I lost 14 channels, but they were saying the same thing behind our backs. And here we are now. The CDC is warning that it did cause problems.
Remember when we couldn't even warn people about it? They were taking down our videos and scrubbing the internet. Remember when they were firing people for not getting it? Remember in LA and New York, you couldn't even eat at a restaurant or go into a gym if you didn't have it? Remember when they were demonizing us and saying that we were killing people by not getting it? And now it's about to receive a black box warning. Remember when we couldn't even warn people about it?
Listen to this.
This guy in room 4 who got his second dose of vaccine on Tuesday has been short of breath.
He's got myocarditis.
Yes.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Let's see.
It's probably myocarditis due to the vaccine.
Right.
But now they're not going to blame the vaccine.
Well, and you know what? But he has an obligation to report that, doesn't he?
They are not reporting.
Right.
Because they want to shove it under the the mat.
I'm going to have to transfer you to another hospital. Okay. We don't have cardiologists here. And what you're developing is like a congestive heart failure. Okay? And that's not good. I don't know where this is coming from. On July 29th, you had the first COVID vaccine. And August 19th, you had the second. You know, you don't have COVID, okay, but you have got a lot of symptoms, you know, and you're developing congestive heart failure.
Yeah, it's really sad. She had just come back from surgery from leave 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks, and then got her first dose of vaccine after surviving this entire pandemic.
But now another vaccine will be coming. December 12th, from the Daily Mail, FDA to put most serious warnings on COVID vaccines after major study finds the shots cause deadly heart damage. The FDA is drawing up plans to put a black box warning on COVID-19 vaccines, the agency's most serious warning over potential side effects. A black box warning, which appears at the top of prescribing information, is placed on drugs or vaccines to highlight major risks such as serious side effects or restrictions. And when we were warning people not to take an experimental drug that you only had one body, and if years down the road there was a recall, like you buy a new car and a recall happens, they promote it and they sell it, this brand new car is excellent, and a year down the road it's a recall because the wiring harness catches fire, or a safety feature doesn't work, or acceleration sticks. How many times have we seen medications be put on the market and 10 years, 20 years down the road, just like Johnson & Johnson baby powder linked to cancer? Once you put an experimental drug with nanotechnologies in your body and nobody knows how you would be able to get it out, what it could do, we were warning people not to do it. But we were shut down for warning. And now here we are, that warnings are going on the labels, right? How many holistic doctors mysteriously died? How many holistic doctors lost their license because they were warning against this? Several holistic doctors and physicians face professional consequences, including license revocations and suspicions for spreading COVID-19 misinformation. And I did a whole video on the suspicious deaths of holistic doctors during COVID. And Dr. Rashid Buttar, who said he was poisoned for what he was speaking out against, and he died.
That the FDA is finalizing plans to put its most serious warning on COVID-19 vaccines. It's called a black box warning, and really it's there so that prescribers and patients can weigh those potential risks against the benefits of any intervention that they're considering.
Now, people were not given a choice. Either you take it or your kids can't go to school. Either you take it or you're going to lose custody of your kids. Either you take it or you cannot come to work. Either you take it or you cannot come to church. Either you take it, you can't come to your job. Either you take it, you're going to get kicked out of university. And nobody knew what it was going to do, but we warned.
What is plaguing this country is the spirit of fear.
Are you afraid?
It's my career, you know, it's how I help people. But am I afraid? I wouldn't necessarily say I'm afraid because my faith lies in God and not man.
From leave 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks, and then got her first dose of vaccine after surviving this entire pandemic. Now you got this guy in room 4 who got his second dose of vaccine on Tuesday, has been short of breath. Okay, now his BNP is elevated, D-dimer elevated, ALT, all his liver enzymes are elevated, his PTINR is elevated.
He's got myocarditis.
Yes.
Oh, this is bullshit.
And then let's see.
Probably myocarditis due to the vaccine.
Right. It's been 4 years since I blew the whistle, and what I did do was take the 18 board complaints that I got on my license, and I made ethics courses out of it.
Now, this man cusses, but he makes some great points. Listen to this.
All right, who's going to jail? That's all I want to know. Because it started with it was safe and effective and do your part and do it for grandma and you'll get a burger and a donut if you do it and you'll get to eat with your loved ones if you do it and you get to keep your job if you do it and you get to go see your dying loved ones and then their funeral if you do it. And if you get the thing, then you won't get it, I promise. And you won't give it to others, I promise. Oh, and your kids should get it. And oops, sorry, we were wrong, so now you need to keep getting more. And you're dangerous and crazy if you don't get them. Oh, and that heart problem and those seizures and that autoimmune condition and that stroke and those menstrual and fertility issues and those reactions and that death. Oh, yeah, that's not related. Well, how do you know? Oh, it's just not related. Stop being one of those racist anti-vaxxers. Follow the science. And now here's how it's going in 2025. The FDA is planning to put a black box warning on COVID shots by the end of 2025. Now, what is a black box warning, you might ask? It's the strongest type of safety alert issued by the FDA for prescription or over-the-counter medications. It highlights serious or potentially life-threatening risks associated with a drug based on medical studies or evidence of preventable adverse effects. So again, the question we should all be asking right now is who the fuck is going to jail? Because you coerced and manipulated and lied to the entire world. And some of the people in my life that I love more than anything got a vaccine that you told them was safe and effective. And now you're admitting that it's not, with the most consequential risks associated with it. Kaylor, move on. Get over it. Yeah, that's exactly what a manipulative, narcissistic psychopath says after they lied to you and it all starts to get exposed. So respectfully, shut the fuck up.
Y'all, my own third son, the son behind Joshua, was 22 years old living with his grandparents, and he took the shot because grandma was recovering for the second time from cancer. This was my ex-husband's parents. And they both took the vaccine and told my son Max that he had to take the vaccine to keep grandma safe. Within 2 months of my 22-year-old son getting it, he's developed MS and he's losing his eyesight. And now they're wanting to put black box warnings on this. And we warned everybody from the beginning that it was a psyop to control by fear to accomplish their goals. Listen to Chase Hughes tell Joe Rogan that it was all a psyop.
And it was openly discussed. Do you think that someone sat in a room and that people discussed the best ways to get people to comply?
Yes. Oh, yes. I would bet my career because it was executed following textbook protocol. And there are these, I made a YouTube video on my channel of like how to spot psyops, and there's like 20 different little things. You only need one thing, and you can spot whether or not you're standing in the middle of a psyop. And that one thing is if the opinion that's coming out needs people to be silenced, it's a psyop. There are psychological operations in play.
Wow. So if you can't question it, if you're supposed to just go along, it's a psyop.
Yeah, and if people have to be silenced or publicly shamed because of their information, and they're not telling people the sky's falling. They're not saying crazy shit. Mm-hmm. They're just saying basic stuff, and they need to be silenced. That is a psyop. No matter what, you can go back in any.
And y'all, that's exactly what's happening with Charlie Kirk. People were losing their jobs for talking about Charlie Kirk's situation. People were told not to talk about that. But getting back to COVID, he says he would bet his career that all of this pushing this vaccine was a psyop to get their technology into people's bodies.
Any time in history during a psyop of our country, and if people needed to be silenced or shamed publicly, which is like the tribe, right? That's why public speaking is our number one fear for humans. It's not a fear of speaking, it's a fear of judgment.
Right.
So I'm just putting the threat of judgment out there. That is a psyop. So if people have to be silenced, and there were Harvard doctors kicked off of the internet or kicked off of Twitter for this stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Stanford, MIT.
That's all you need.
Yeah. The Great Barrington Declaration. People didn't agree with exactly how the government was handling everything, and they were silenced. And they were treated like fringe quacks instead of respected physicians. And it was openly discussed in emails. That's what's really crazy. They talked about the strategy of silencing these people, and then you had the actual government itself contacting Twitter, trying to get people removed, which is wild.
Yeah. Didn't you have Mark Zuckerberg on? He talked about
and he talked about Facebook doing it, about the FBI contacting them. It's crazy to believe, but my hope is that people have learned from this past 4 years and that this is an eye-opener.
Black box warning on the COVID shot. I mean, who saw that coming? Black box warning on the COVID shot. I mean, who saw that coming?
Here's a pro-vaxxer with his regrets.
The smartest, happiest people are the ones who didn't get the vaccination and are still alive. I want to make sure that I'm not leaving any wiggle room for myself. Have I? Have I said as clearly as possible they're the happy ones right now? And have a reason to be, completely. Right. Having said as clearly as possible that the anti-vax people seem to be the winners, I want you to hear that clearly. The anti-vax people appear to be the winners. The thing they're not worrying about is what I have to worry about, which is, I wonder if that vaccination 5 years from now, I did not end up in the right place. Agree? You would all agree with that, right? I did not end up in the right place. The right place would be natural immunity, no vaccination.
And y'all, how much courage did it take to stand up against the vaccination rollout? How much courage did it take to not wear the mask? How many arguments did I have to get in, and getting in an argument with a manager lady that I knew at Walmart that I wasn't wearing a mask, and not going to see Joshua in the long-term hospital because I refused the mask. And I told those people, I said, y'all can take his rights away, but I'm not willingly surrendering my rights to breathe good air, and y'all hold my right to see my own son by taking my clean air away from me. I told them what I thought about it in my daddy's kind of way. And how many arguments did we get with not wanting into doctor's office? I'm not wearing the mask. And how much resistance did we get? No, I'm not vaccinated. I'm not getting vaccinated. Do you know it was uncomfortable to have to be that strong and that forceful and tell people I'm not doing it, because our natural flesh does not want the confrontation. Our natural flesh wants to have friends. It wants to be liked. But when the Holy Ghost kicks in and say, you're going to stand up for what's right, no matter who else is coming at you. It took courage to say, I don't care if I can't see my kid. I don't care if I get kicked out. I don't care if I get, I lose my job. I don't care if I lose my college degrees. I don't care. I'm not putting this in my body. The Bible says, render unto Caesar that which is due to Caesar's, but render unto God what belongs to God. And Corinthians says, know ye not, you don't belong to yourself? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost? You have been bought with a price. Glorify God, therefore, with your body. Caesar's poison was never intended to go into our bodies because our body does not belong to ourselves. So here this man, he took it. He says the winners were those that had the backbone to resist it. And I'm trying to tell y'all this was the testing ground. Something evil, 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 evil is about to be here with a new pandemic, with a new mRNA vaccine, and a new social contract that's coming with it that's going to be tracking everybody for compliance. Let's keep going. So that man said the people that stood against the vaccines were the winners in the end. Okay? November 17th, Trump's executive order, this is from VA News. Trump's executive order reinstates GI Bill benefits to the veterans who were discharged for refusing the COVID vaccine. If everybody would have just held out against it, we all would have been the winners. And now here's the warning from the FDA with the black box warning confirming it was dangerous. So I say that to say, stand up for the next wave that's coming, even though the next wave might cost us our life.
They're printing articles now about the children who died from the COVID shot. They're printing studies now indicating an astronomical rise in cancer for people who took the COVID shot. Who's going to prison for this? Because I remember both political parties in America. I remember our medical institutions in America. I remember all kinds of doctors doing everything they could do to manipulate you and me into shooting that poison into our bodies. In fact, I remember the Democrat president of the United States of America signing an executive order trying to have all of us fired if we didn't take the COVID shot.
Let me just stop right there. He's wanting to blame Joe Biden. But what did Trump call himself? The father of the vaccine. And Trump said he did not get enough credit for the vaccine. So let's keep going. So don't think it's just Joe Biden. It was a psyop to get it in everybody.
And now, years later, you think you can just print some studies and articles talking about how it killed kids, destroyed lives, and no one goes to prison for that? We demand justice. And if these institutions ever want our trust back, they would start throwing some of their own into prison. I am deeply sorry if you yourself have suffered from some of this stuff, and I know that chances are you have. It aggravates me to no end. I hope the bad people who did this to us suffer in some way.
Just to put that in there, Trump calls himself the father of the vaccine, April 29th, 2021. Trump calls himself the father of the vaccine and claims he deserves credit for the coronavirus shots. So Trump was manipulating his MAGA cult followers to take it. Okay? Here it is. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has claimed that he is the father of the vaccine for coronavirus, attacking his successor, Joe Biden, for taking credit for the much improved U.S. response to the crisis. People need to be put in remembrance that Donald Trump gaslit his Trump-trained writers to take it, and people trusted him.
Pfizer and Moderna have announced their vaccine is approximately 95% effective. These vaccines are also very safe, a medical miracle. We have delivered a safe and effective vaccine in just 9 months.
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so...
Don't.
I am the father of the vaccine because I was the one that pushed it. You know, to get it done in less than 9 months was a miracle.
This is really going around now. They have to get their shot. But I happen to take the vaccine. If it doesn't work, you'll be the first to know. Take the firearms first and then go to court.
What psyop did people fall for?
The so-called COVID-19 vaccine does not provide any individual who receives the vaccine with immunity. They are untested, unproven experimental gene therapy that poses a much greater danger and risk to your health than the COVID-19. These so-called vaccines, which are manufactured using cells derived from human babies that were aborted in the 1970s, should more accurately be called experimental gene therapy.
There's no question that the COVID recommendations were dishonest and disingenuous. There's no question that the COVID recommendations were dishonest and disingenuous.
German member of the European Parliament, Christine Anderson.
This vaccine campaign, it will go down as the biggest scandal in medical history, and moreover, it will be known as the biggest crime ever committed on humanity. This vaccine.
And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. And in the naked light I saw.
From the White House's website, TrumpWhiteHouse.archives, President Donald Trump's effort to provide Americans with a safe and effective vaccine is delivering results. My administration has initiated the single greatest mobilization in U.S. history, pioneering, developing, and manufacturing therapies and vaccines in record time. Again, remember, he pushed it.
Pfizer and Moderna have announced their vaccine is approximately 95% effective. These vaccines are also very safe, a medical miracle. We have delivered a safe and effective vaccine in just 9 months.
So I just want to put this in here. People are still trusting in Trump. And he knew what was going to happen. And he pushed it on people. And now the FDA is putting a warning on it that it is not safe and effective. But the President of the United States got on television and said it is safe and effective, and y'all go out and take it. And how many Trump followers took it because Trump himself called it safe and effective? Okay?
Pfizer and Moderna have announced their vaccine is approximately 95% effective. These vaccines are also very safe, a medical miracle. We have delivered a safe and effective vaccine in just 9 months.
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so...
I am the father of the vaccine because I was the one that pushed it. You know, to get it done in less than 9 months was a miracle.
This is really going around now. They have to get their shot. But I happen to take the vaccine. If it doesn't work, you'll be the first to know. Take the firearms first.
So the President of the United States told its citizens that this vaccine was safe and effective. This was 2 days ago. FDA has no plans to put black box warning on COVID vaccines. So Trump said Pfizer and Moderna have produced this wonderful vaccine and it's safe and effective. Okay? Now, 2 days ago, they're saying FDA is not going to put the warning on it.
Well, we're keeping an eye on shares of Moderna and Pfizer's after the FDA is said to be investigating whether COVID-19 vaccines potentially.
So they're keeping an eye on Pfizer and Moderna's money after the FDA said they were going to put the warning on their vaccines. Do y'all hear this?
Well, we're keeping an eye on shares of Moderna and Pfizer's after the FDA is said to be investigating whether COVID-19 vaccines potentially cause deaths in adults as part of a safety review.
So at the same time, 2 days ago, Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla blast HHS anti-vaccine policies as revenue outlook looks dim. Okay? The same Albert Bourla that was meeting with Trump to push more medications on Americans, okay? Now all of a sudden they're keeping Albert Bourla was mad about this warning. Trump got out there in the beginning and called Pfizer's shots that got pushed on everybody safe and effective. Then the FDA says we're going to put a black box warning on this. Everybody was, yay! Then Albert Bourla was like, I'm not happy that y'all are coming after my vaccines. And now FDA declines to put the black box warning.
The Food and Drug Administration says it will not add black box warnings to COVID-19 vaccines. The FDA's decision comes despite an agency recommendation. Black box warnings are the highest safety-related warnings that the FDA can place on products. The announcement comes several weeks after the FDA reported deaths of children following COVID-19 vaccination.
But they were worried about the Pfizer's shares going down.
Well, we're keeping an eye on shares of Moderna and Pfizer's after the FDA is said to be investigating whether COVID-19 vaccines potentially cause deaths.
And on that same day, Pfizer Albert Bourla was getting irate that they're going after it. And on the same day, they decided not to put a black box warning on it. The same man that tools around with Donald Trump, that Donald Trump called those vaccines safe and effective, and Albert Bourla is giving billions of dollars to Trump. Listen to this clip. Bobby Kennedy's talking about how pharmaceutical companies control Congress. Listen to this.
Who has the courage? President Trump was taking money from the pharmaceutical industry too. I think they gave you $100 million. But he can't be bought, unlike most of the politicians in this country.
So the pharmaceutical companies gave Trump $100 million? Let's see.
Bought, unlike dollars. But he can't be bought, unlike most of the politicians in this country.
So the pharmaceutical companies gave Trump $100 million, but Bobby Kennedy says that Trump can't be bought. But then when the pressure was coming to put black box warnings on the Pfizer vaccines, Albert Bourla, who's given Trump billions of dollars, who's up there in the White House making his products more affordable to the American people, he clamped back, and now all of a sudden the black box warning is not going on this COVID vaccine. And we've got more vaccines in development that's going to even be worse. And Bobby Kennedy wants to promote wearables just like the World Health Organization that will be tracking every single person. They want to normalize the wearables. Robert F. Kennedy's pushing their wearables. The second part of that is World Health Organization pushes a global plan to normalize trackable health devices. Bobby Kennedy's pushing that. And AI monitoring for every citizen on Earth. AI monitoring. And what is Trump pushing? AI. Trump unleashes Silicon Valley to secure global dominance for the United States. The U.S. President Donald Trump presented an action plan on Wednesday, July 23rd, aimed at accelerating the large-scale adoption of AI technology by easing infrastructure construction and removing regulatory barriers. So Trump is opening the door for AI tracking surveillance, just like the World Health Organization and the UN wants, and his health and fitness guy, Bobby Kennedy, is pushing wearables. That is a globalist goal also. Now, we're about to get into the new contract, the new vaccine, the new pandemic, the new vaccine, and we're about to reveal the new social contract. Yes or no? Could an implanted RFID chip hold your vaccine history? Yes, an implanted RFID chip could technically hold your vaccine history. are some countries using implantable vaccine passports? While no country has officially mandated or widely adopted government issued implantable vaccine passports, a private tech company in Sweden developed and promoted an implantable microchip that could store an individual's COVID 19 vaccination record. This technology was an optional personal choice for those willing to use it. Can vaccine passports be combined with digital ID in an implanted RFID chip? Yes, it is technically feasible to combine vaccine passports with digital ID in an RFID chip implant, and in fact has already been implemented in some companies on a voluntary basis. Yes or no? Could AI be used with vaccine passports or combined with digital IDs in RFID chip implants? Yes, a digital ID and vaccine passport data could be combined in an RFID chip implant with artificial intelligence, could be used as a part or wider system to manage and verify the data. Which brings us back to this. The UN, Bill Gates, and the Rockefeller Foundation launched the 50 and 5 agenda to make digital IDs, vaccine passports, and digital currencies mandatory to participate in society by 2030. They're all calling for a new social contract. Answer honestly, yes or no. Could a new social contract mandate vaccines? Yes, a government could mandate vaccines under the principles of a new social contract theory in the future. Could it be if you don't have your digital ID and digital currency in the new social contract, you will not be allowed to participate? It's a potential future concern that a social contract could mandate digital IDs and currencies, making participation difficult for those without them. As some civil liberty groups and advocates warn about exclusion and privacy risk associated with such systems. However, many current digital IDs and currency proposals emphasize that participation in society remains voluntary, and that alternative non-digital methods will exist to access services. That's not what the Bible says, or what the World Economic Forum is saying. They're saying it is time for a new social contract. What is a contract? A contract is a legally binding agreement between two or more parties creating mutual enforceable duties to perform or not perform specific actions involving offer, acceptance, consideration, capacity, legality, and forming the backbone of business or personal transaction by ensuring promises are kept or remedies are available for breaches. Sam Altman expects that AI that Trump has unleashed will require changing the social contract. The whole structure of society will be up for debate and reconfiguration. They're telling us if people are listening. Could vaccine compliance be part of a new social contract? Yes, vaccine compliance is widely discussed and supported as being part of an existing or new social contract in public health ethics and behavioral research. The core idea is that individuals in society have a moral obligation. And what did Pope say? The Pope said it was your moral obligation to get vaccinated. The core idea is that individuals in society have a core obligation to protect the vulnerable and contribute to the common good, which in public health includes achieving herd immunity through vaccination. Y'all remember? Pope says it's your moral obligation to get vaccinated, and that's part of a new social contract. And Bill Gates says if you don't have your digital ID, digital vaccine passport, digital currencies, and a new social contract, you will not be able to participate in society.
Entry denied. You have criticized the government.
Sorry, last week you purchased too much meat and now your access to your money has been denied.
You haven't let the government know about this trip, and your access is denied.
You have gone over your carbon credit allowance of food this week and your access to food has been denied. A day in the life of UK school children 2035 with digital ID. You have gone over your electricity allowance this week and your access is denied.
All this is controlled by AI.
You have gone over your weekly travel limit and your access is denied.
Universal basic income is part of a new social contract for the age of AI. AI could cut off your money, and it's part of the new social contract that the World Economic Forum, UN, are all saying it's time for a new social contract. Bill Gates says you won't be able to participate in this new social contract if you don't comply with all of this.
Digital ID is in place, it's game. Once the digital ID is in place, it's game over for humanity.
Digital ID mandatory for the right to work.
Australians won't have to pull out their licence at the pub anymore under a gold standard digital ID being developed. Government Services Minister Bill Shorten is today unveiling the new initiative. It means when you enter a club or hotel, a digital token will be sent to that business to verify you are who you say you are without transferring them your data.
Are we doing this? Because we believe in making things better, faster and more convenient for everyone in Canada. By adding citizenship information to Alberta's driver's licenses and ID cards, we're taking a proactive step toward ensuring that only eligible citizens cast ballots.
Is it theoretically possible that AI could create a new religion? It is theoretically possible that under a new social contract, are y'all ready? AI that Trump has unleashed could be involved in the creation of a new religion. The possibility depends on the variety of psychological, philosophical, legal, and social factors. Defining religion. Many contemporary definitions of religion focus on shared beliefs. Oh, they're going to brainwash everybody to believe the same thing. Practices a moral code and a sense of community rather than requiring a traditional supernatural deity. AI could certainly generate complex belief systems and ethical frameworks. The Antichrist is going to declare himself higher than God, creating a new religious system. Y'all see where we're going? The Antichrist is going to say he supersedes all the old religious traditions. A universal basic income can be is a potential component of a new social contract, particularly to address challenges like AI-driven job displacement. Is it possible in the future, if you don't have it, you won't be able to participate? It is a potential future concern that a social contract could mandate digital IDs and currencies, making participation in society difficult for those without them. Could digital IDs and digital currencies become central to a new social contract? Yes, digital ID and digital currency could become central to a new social contract, reshaping the relationship between citizens, governments, and corporations. I'm sorry, y'all, I got no sleep last night. The social contract theory, which outlines the implicit principles governing society, is being profoundly altered by the digital age. These technologies offer substantial benefits, but also introduce significant risks that would require renegotiation of rights, responsibilities, and power dynamics. That's exactly what Sam Altman is saying. Sam Altman expects that AI will require changing the social contract. The whole structure of society will be up for debate and reconfiguration. They're about to reconfigure everything that we know as normal under a constructed new social contract that everybody will have to agree to participate. And I've reported on it. Digital ID is part of a new social contract between the government and citizens, the World Bank Verizon chief say. And I said it about 10 videos. I will not break covenant. The Bible says we are God's covenant people and that he is our covenant God. And God wrote covenant with us. He wrote covenant by his blood. And I will not break covenant with a holy God to sign a contract with demons. And that's what they're going to want you to do. Break your allegiance to God to sign a new contract with them. Like the record companies want you to sign in blood a contract with the devil. I refuse to in the name of Jesus. Lord Jesus, rebuke you. Could a new social contract create new global citizens? A new global social contract could indeed help foster the concept of global citizenship by creating frameworks for international coordination, shared responsibilities, and collective action on a global scale. So we saw that clip that said if you go into hotels, a new token would be sent to the hotel to verify your identity. Is it plausible that tokenization of all assets will be part of a new social contract? Yes, it is considered plausible by many financial and technology leaders that the widespread tokenization of assets will become a pillar of future financial and social systems. Yes or no? Theoretically, could tokenization make it easier for confiscation? Theoretically, yes, tokenizations of assets could make it easier for confiscation due to increased traceability and programmable controls inherently built into the technology. So if they tokenize all our personal assets, your car, your house, your everything, your money, they could confiscate it easily for non-compliance. Theoretically, could governments via tokenization take ownership of personal property? Theoretically, the government could utilize tokenization as a mechanism to track, manage, or transfer ownership records more efficiently. Theoretically, could tokenization support World Economic Forum's goal of own nothing and be happy? Yes, tokenization could technically support a system where individuals own nothing in a traditional sense. Answer honestly, yes or no. Could 2026 be the year of a new social contract? Whether 2026 could be the year of a new social contract is a complex and open ended question that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. The emergence of a new social contract is significant, complex, process driven by numerous factors, including shifts in technology, economy, environment, and political will. Y'all, what is this sounding like? Revelation 13:15 through 18? A new religion, a man who thinks he's God, the rewriting of everything, total control. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, an RFID chip, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Are y'all ready? Could transhumans be part of a new social contract? Yes, that's merging man and machine. Yes, transhumanism could be part of a new social contract and the concept a subject of active philosophical and political debate. Transhumanist politics explore how emerging technologies might be integrated into social agreements, particularly concerning equality of access, individual rights to enhancement. Oh, it's our right to be enhanced. The devil is a lie, and the redefinition of human nature. And they're all saying it's time for the new social contract. And you can't say, oh, Trump ain't for it. Trump ain't for it. Y'all, think about everything I said. He called himself the father of the vaccine. Now, all of a sudden, they backed off of putting the black box warning on the Pfizer vaccine because Pfizer's giving him money. There's Bill Gates sitting next to Trump's wife at this dinner, pledging money to Trump. The first week of Trump's second administration, Bill Gates met with Trump, and he said he was impressed with Donald Trump's interest in global health. Gates asked Trump if he had the same kind of rapid innovation seen with COVID-19 could be applied to other health challenges, this new mRNA vaccine. A topic they both seemed excited about. Do not sign up for this new social contract that plans to merge man and machine with wearables and transhumanism, tracking you, selling your soul to these people.
Watch out for 666. Watch out for 666. In a vision of the future, I saw in a vivid dream that the hour is soon coming when men will become machines. A new one world order will rise and then demand that all the world's people receive their scientific brand. I saw a tiny free program, computer chips so thin, implanted in men's foreheads underneath their skin, linking all its bearers to the system's central brain. The master computer that over them will reign. Watch out for 666 and their computer chip that is designed to strip you on your self-control. Don't sell yourself.
You're on the phone. More vaccines are coming to put in their little vaccine tracking information system, to put in their new digital wallet, their new digital tracking, their new surveillance. More vaccines are coming to enforce compliance for global safety. And Revelation says that the whole world was deceived by the pharmakeia. You know, the same Trump that took $100 million from the pharmaceutical companies. If y'all are on the Trump train, please get off, okay? He is part of the great deception. A new social contract is coming. And to get there, an economic collapse is coming for the new social system that's being redefined. That Trump is heavily involved in crypto. His family's heavily involved in crypto. They are part of a new digital system that's coming. He's part of the new vaccine system that's coming. He's involved with Bill Gates and the new vaccines that are coming. He's unleashed the AI to run all of this. Let me just throw this last thing in for free. May this be a wake up call. Get your eyes back on Jesus. The Bible forewarned that there's going to be a great delusion, a great deception in the last days, and that the lawless one is going to be deceiving a lot of people. Get your eyes back on Jesus and realize that a second wave of evil is coming. Have you ever been to the beach and stood at the edge of the sand and a heavy wave come and it almost knocks you on your feet, but you're able to maintain your balance and stand? But then a harder wave can come in that will literally knock you over. A hard, evil wave is about to hit society. And if you're not grounded in truth, it will knock you down. It will knock you over. You will submit to it. So you have to resolve right now that you are planting your feet solid, that you solid in Jesus, that you will not be knocked over in what's coming. Make up your mind to stand for God because we're in the last pages. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate the content that you find on this channel, would you prayerfully consider supporting the ministry?